Okay, everybody. All right, so we're gonna use the hydrangea set, and you can find this inside your catalog, even in the online catalog. You're gonna find a two step set. Okay, and I'm gonna open this up right now, and I'm gonna show you how much fun this all is. All right, so this hydrangea is a flower, okay, and my wife and I really love it. And you can see that there's two stamps that create the flower. The first part is this part, and it takes a light ink, okay. And the second part of the stamp is the second part that you add onto it that has a darker ink, and it highlights the flower. Okay, so let me show you a little bit what we're gonna do here. I'm gonna show you how to use the background, the first part, the background part of the flower. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use a light ink called Positively Pink. Okay, now you can use a light purple. Purple is really great too. But pink is fine as well. So I'm gonna open up my stamp pad, and I'm gonna stick that over here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the light ink, and you can see what I'm doing right now is I am getting the ink on the stamp, okay? And that's part of the fun. Is making your creation. Is so easy to create something, and you're just gonna stamp that on your paper. Now I suggest having just a used piece of paper, or a scrap piece of paper. I'm just applying a little pressure to it, right? And you can see how nicely that turned out. Okay, now I'm going to take a nice piece of paper right here. Okay, and you can find this nice paper, glossy paper. I would use a glossy background paper for this project. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this paper in half. And all I do to do that is I just fold it in half, and I just make a little tiny crease right at the top. Not very much, all right? And then what I'm doing is going to make a little crease at the bottom. Okay, and there's better ways of doing this, but this is just a very simple method, and kind of give yourself a little bit of a fold right there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get our scissors out. And you can find this in the catalog too, if you're needing some nice stamping scissors. And I just basically just cut along that basic line that I formed. Okay. And it might not be perfect, but you know what? There's so many things that are so perfect, and this is actually, people will see, that you actually made this yourself. And that's kind of a nice little thing you got going there. Now you can see a little bit of the card is a little bit off, so I'm just going to cut that where it's not straight. Cut that off right there. Okay, and there's ways, of course, to get a really good cut, and you can use a cutter. And there's cutters inside the catalog. They look a little bit different than this one. But if you want to make your card look, professional or something, you can always do that as well. I just wanted to show you an easy way of doing this, all right? So then you're just now you have your little card right there. All right, now, one little thing that we're gonna do before we get started is I want kind of a background to this card, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another piece of paper, a nice background paper, and you can buy this in the catalog too. Find it in the catalog. And I'm just going to line that up, just a border on two sides, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double what I want the border to be. So if I want it to be this fat, or half of this, then that's what it's going to be. So if I want it to be a little bit all the way around, you're going to just give it double the size of what you want the border to be all the way around. Okay, and it will be half of this. Okay, and you may not understand what I'm talking about, but let me show you. All right, now basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line it up to make sure it looks straight. Okay, because I'm just kind of eyeballing all this. This is not a professional cut. This is just kind of you doing this for your friend or whoever, and it's just fun, right? Just kind of line that up a little bit. There we go. And I'm just going to cut along this edge. Okay. And kind of hold it with your finger so it doesn't move. Cut along this edge. Okay. Put the other paper back over there. Now what's going to happen is you're going to slide this over a little bit, and you have a nice little green background. See what I'm saying? All right. And a little bit of this card is not exactly straight, so I'm going to cut that a little bit better. Right there. And of course you can always do this as well. You can actually line up your card so that one corner is straight, right? And if it's straight, then you're going to get a nice 90-degree angle on that. And then you can just cut off that part that's not straight. Okay? All right, so let's see what we got now. There's our card. It's looking okay, and then here's our background. Okay, and looks like a nice background. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're going to take you can take some glue or some tape or double stick tape or even mounting tape. I'm just gonna take some mounting tape, and I'm just going to cut a few strips. Okay, I'm gonna make 2 or 3 strips of this mounting tape, make 4 corners of it, right? And then I'm going to peel it off, right? And of course you can always use double stick tape, double-sided tape. Single-sided tapes, that won't work unless you fold it over so it's double sticky on each side. Anyway, I'm just going to take this mounting tape and stick it on the corner. See, I'm going to put one on each corner, and that'll hold that background onto it, right? There we go, there's the second one. And you know, there's different ways of doing it. This is just one way, right? And there's 3 sides to it, and the 4th side to it. If you only have Scotch tape, all you have to do is just cut out a piece of tape, or get a strip of tape, and then just if my tape was right here, just flip it over onto itself so that it's sticky all the way around, and then just put one of those on each corner, if that makes sense. Okay, so I got it on all 4 corners. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line this up to be what I want, and then I'm just going to stick it on there. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I have my background. Okay, All right, so we're done with that part. Now let's do some fun things. Let's show you how to do this one more time. Again, I'm going to take the first part of the stamp, okay, put it on the lighter pink or the lighter purple, which one you get. Of course, you can do yellow as well. You know, that would be good. Most any color, if it's the light version, will turn out pretty nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a spot that I want this hydrangea to be at, and I'm going to just stamp it on there. Okay, and I'm giving it a little bit of pressure. I forgot to blow hot air on it. You can blow hot air on it. I'll show you that in a second. I'm just giving it some pressure. Okay, maybe 20 seconds or so. And then there's my first part of the background part of the hydrangea, right? And it's a lot of fun, right? Now I'm going to take a little bit of tissue that's with a little bit of wet on it and just clean off the stamp. Of course, there's inside the catalog, there's an actual stamp cleaner. You can just rub it on and just pour a little bit of water on the cleaner, and then you just go like that and it cleans it off. So it's kind of cool too. I couldn't find mine tonight, so so I'm just using the old-fashioned way, right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the darker pink, the darker shade of pink, which is Pink Passion, right? And this one is called, the lighter one is called, let's see what the lighter one is called. It's Positively Pink, right? So I'm going to get the darker shade of pink called Pink Passion. And I'm going to get the second part of the stamp, right? And I'm going to stamp, or get it on the ink. Get it real good. You can actually look at it, see if it's nice and wet. Okay? And you can also blow hot air on it, huff it, which they call, right? And get it nice, and the hot air kind of releases the ink even more. And what we're going to do is we're going to place this kind of over top of the background, right? And you kind of, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to kind of be as close as you possibly can, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to line it up a little bit so that it, let's see what I'm doing here, just so it's generally on there. And I'm going to press down and give it, 20 seconds or so. You can roll it a little bit if you want. Put a little bit of pressure on that. And look how awesome, right? Right, so that's cool. Now, I'm going to clean that off a little bit. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little trick, okay? What I did is I just took a little, like a scrap paper, like this one for instance, and then I just cut it out. I just cut it out from that scrap paper. So now I have a little, I don't know what this is called, but I can place this over my hydrangeas so that anything I stamp over it won't actually affect the flower itself. And I'll show you what I mean, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this over top of the flower, okay? And then I'm going to get my leaf out of here. And I'm going to get, there's two parts to the leaf. There's the background again, and then you have the highlighted section. All right, and this is going to be green, and I'm going to use for the background a darker green, a light green, and for the dark highlighted section I'm going to use a darker green, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for my first green, I'm going to use, let me get the name of it here for you, it's called Mellow Moss, all right? And it's mellow, it's definitely mellow. It's not very dark. And I'm gonna open that up, and I'm gonna take my background and I'm gonna stamp that on there like that. okay, and blow on it, a little huff on it a little bit, okay, and then I'm going to stamp a little bit over the hydrangea so the leaf looks like it's coming out from the back. All right, so it's not very hard. All you have to do is just stick it over there and go like this. Give it a few seconds. You can roll it if you want. Put a little pressure. And take this away, and you see you got your little flower, you got your little leaf in the background, right? And we're going to do that again. We'll do this a few times. We'll stick the leaf out from different place. Here we go again. And you see? Kind of cool, huh? All right, and we're going to do that one more time. We'll do it on this corner. Okay, and you take this off, and there you go. You see? Isn't that cool? All right, now that's the background part of the leaf. Yeah? Now we need the highlighted section, and you're going to use a little bit of a darker green. Of course, you can find all these ink pads in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, either online or offline. I'll put a link on my page so you can find it. And this one is called Old Olive, and it's a darker green, okay? And it matches Mellow Moss pretty well. So I'm going to take my second highlighted stamp. I'm going to ink it up like this, and then I'm going to kind of outline, or kind of line up the edge of it a little bit, so that it doesn't completely, so it kind of goes over top of it. And I'm just going to kind of go down with it, kind of use a little bit of common sense as you're doing this, because now I wasn't perfect, but you can see how the dark green made it pop off. Let's see if let's do it again on this next one, and maybe I can get a little bit better this time. Line it up a little bit better. Give it a little pressure. That one was a little bit better. And you can see how it highlights, right? And then we're going to do this one here. And we're going to kind of line it up. And just line it up on one side. You don't have to do it on all sides. It's just a little bit too hard that way. There we go. Okay, and then we take this off. See our flower came out pretty good there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our set. We got a few more stamps. Now, by the way, this has got a 10 stamps inside of it. There's a little budding flower that goes with the set. There's, of course, here's the background again, and then the highlighted section. So I'm going to, again, by the way, I'm going to clean off this stamp a little bit. Like the stamp, I'm going to clean them off before I put them to the side. And I'm going to move the ink pads, close the ink pads so they don't dry up. Actually, I'm going to need some pinks here. Let me put the greens away. We're going to need our light pink now. Positively pink again, and we're going to need our background flower, and we're going to stamp that up like that. And I'm going to put my little budding flower over here in the corner of my picture, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do your best. Just have fun with this. Honestly, that's what this is all about. It's just having fun. You know, you can get all caught up in this and not enjoy it because you're trying to be too perfectionistic, and the whole point of this is just to have fun, right? So now we're going to take the second part, the highlighted section. Okay, I'm going to get the darker pink, right? And I think this one was, again, what this one was called. Let's see what this was called again. Pink Passion, there we go. I'm going to take some Pink Passion here. I'm going to stamp that up, and then I'm going to place it kind of over top of it so it kind of makes it pop out a little bit. That actually looked really great. That looked really superb. I actually got that lined up pretty good on that one. Not on this one didn't come out so good, but this one did. But anyway, you know, when they see someone sees that, they're gonna be oh my gosh, you did this by hand, didn't you? So that's kind of cool. All right, now what we can do is we're gonna take our we're gonna put the pinks away. We're gonna get out the greens again. We're gonna add some more light mellow moss leaves to our little budding flower right there. And I actually I haven't cut out a little budding flower for this one. You can if you want to, but I'm just going to have fun with this, and I'm just going to stamp it right on there. See that? And again on here, kind of just stick in the corner. And the other side leaf didn't come out so well. Let me get it. That was a little bit weird, actually. And then the next one. Okay, there we go. Now, what you can do is the second part of the stamp, the second part of the leaf, will probably make up for whatever white is showing. We're going to get the darker green again. And we're going to, this one is called the Old Olive, right? We're going to stamp that up. We're going to put it over top of the green leaf again, kind of line it up as best as you can. And that actually looked really pretty good, this one right here, right? We're going to do it again to this one. Kind of line it up. And this one's a little bit harder, but that looks pretty good. And we're going to do this one. And press down on it. And that one still looks a little bit weird. But there's actually some cool little tricks you can do to work around that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the other part of this white and I'm going to fold it right along the line so that there's a 90-degree angle right here. Okay, I'm going to cut this little bit off so I can use the other part of the card for something else. Okay, now I have a strip of glossy white. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my background leaf with the mellow moss again. Let's see what I did. I'm going to do the background part of the leaf right here and kind of line it up. And if you don't get it right, that looks pretty good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this out, okay? And you're gonna see my little trick that I do. I'm just gonna cut into those little leaves a little bit so it looks pretty nice. Okay, and I'm almost done with this card. And it's been really fun putting this card together. Okay, so I cut out my leaf, got my leaf right here. I'm going to take a little bit of mounting tape that I have. Get a little bit of mounting tape, and I'm going to peel it off on both sides. And now I'm going to take my card and I'm going to put it over the mounting tape over the leaf, especially the one that's not all that great. And I'm going to make my little leaf pop off of it right there. See? Isn't that cool? Now you can't really even see the other leaf, and you can actually do that another time if you wanted to. And actually, that might be fun. A little bit of mellow moss here again, and a little bit of the old olive. Line that up best you can. A little bit of pressure, and actually that one came out pretty bad. So I'm going to do that one more time. Okay. Let's see if I can line it up a little bit better this time. And hopefully that'll be better. A little bit of pressure. Well, that's okay. Not perfect, but when you cut it out, it's going to look a little bit better anyway. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And of course, the parts that came that went over the lines, I'm just going to cut those part out so you don't see that. So only the highlight will actually show that's inside the leaf. And that looks pretty okay. And then what I'm going to do is going to put this over here in my scrap pile. And I'm going to get a little bit of mounting tape again. Alright, and I'm going to peel off that mounting tape. Here we go. Alright. And I'm going to put my leaf over another part that leaf where it wasn't all that great right there. And just make it pop off the page again. See, now I got two leaves that are popping off the page, right? You can see how they pop a little bit, right? All right, now I just want one more leaf, I think, up here in the, just a little bit, because I'm gonna take some mellow moss. I'm just going to have a tiny little bit of a leaf up here. I'm going to take my paper cutout of the leaf, put it over this so that the leaf won't actually affect the flower. And I actually didn't want to give it too much a leaf because I need to actually put something up here or down here. I'm not sure which one. I'll take my background, the darker green, old olive, kind of line that up. Stamp that on there. Okay. Now I've got green on all sides. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a set, and this set actually has lots of different greetings and things on it. You can find all different kinds of sayings and things that are nice, and I'm going to take the one out that says "for you," okay? And of course you can put one that says thanks on it, or you know, to a special, you know, and there's ones that say father, mother, couple, nephew, daughter, right? Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get this stamp that says "for you." I'm going to use the darker ink and the darker green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just find a spot. I could either put it right here or right here. And I'm just going to put it at the top. Kind of line it up as best I can. And there we go. It wasn't perfect, but it looks nice. And now what you can do is you still got some white down here. We could put another budding flower down there, right? Take the light pink and the background and stamp it down here. See? We're going to clean that off. And then we're going to take the, by the way, I'm going to clean off my leaf. Keep everything kind of organized a little bit. I'm going to take the second part, the highlighted section, and the pink, the darker pink, stamp that up. And I'm going to kind of highlight that a little bit, just like that. And it actually looks really great. Clean off the stamp a little bit. Clean off this one. Now I'm going to use one more leaf here. A little bit of green, light green. And I'm going to make it, I'm actually going to use this little flower piece. I'm just going to put it right there so that it doesn't go over the flower just a little bit. And I'll just stamp it right there. And let's do it again down here. Okay. And maybe one more up here. See what I did? Okay. And I'm going to get the, clean that off. And I'm going to get the darker part of the leaf, put it on the darker green, and put this over the flower a little bit. And then I'm gonna, there you go. And then do it on this one. And then on this one. Okay. So now we have cute little flowers popping out everywhere. And one last thing, I'm going to get it a little bit in the corner because there's nothing down here. I want a little bit to show right there. See what I did down here, right? And let's get the other part of the flower, the highlighted section. Kind of stick it on there. Okay. And we'll do a quick leaf really quick. I'm just doing this really fast. And we're going to get the darker part of the leaf really quick. Kind of line that up. And then this one here. There we go. Okay, so now I've got my card full of hydrangeas and a little for you on the top of it. And then of course you can write anything you want in here. Of course you can find little sayings that you can actually stamp in here as well inside the catalog. And then of course you can always sign it a little bit too if you want. Just put your initials or something in the corner, down at the bottom or somewhere. Right? And there you go. And that was a lot of fun. Of course, you know, the more you do the card over and over again, the better you get at it, and the more precise and nicer the card looks. So if you're going for a more professional look, you might want to do it a few times. And once you get it down, it'll look amazing, right? But I wanted to kind of keep it real for you. I haven't done this card in a long time, and I know that you won't have done this card ever. And so uh, if I make this look spectacular and then you do yours and it doesn't look very good, you're gonna be like, well, how come that didn't work for me? And so I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an advantage, just to see that I make mistakes too. I have a lot of cards and they're really awesome, but I worked on them. I did them like 20 times, and so they came out fantastic. But that may not be the case when you first try this. So I want this to kind of get a feeling of what it might look like, you doing it. I did this my first time on this with this card, completely new idea, had no idea where I was going with this, except just to put some flowers on there and some kind of little saying on there, and have a background, right? So I hope you enjoy the card, and I look forward to stamping with you again soon. All right, and by the way, as soon as the website is complete, you're going to be able to click on all the different techniques. Those will be under two-step stamping, and you'll be able to click on all the different links, for embossing and for, doing color. There's a technique that you use a multi. Let me get it for you. Give me 1 second here. This is a multi-color stamp set, or not stamp set, ink pad, and so it actually gives the stamp, when you stamp it, it actually makes it variations of color, so it's really cool. All right, so anyway, you're going to be able to see all those different techniques and just be able to click on them and see the video and see the page about that, and where the ink pads are and where all the things are in the catalog and how it all lines up. Okay, all right, well, we'll see you later. From my Jeanette and I, have a great day, and we'll talk with you again soon. Bye-bye.